far left-wing activists in Hollywood are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Zegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
And there is no resolution in sight for the Walt Disney Company when it comes to Snow White 2025 at the box office. This is exactly why Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, is in pure panic mode over not just the Rachel Zegler backlash, but the entire backlash surrounding this movie in general.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
You know, I don't need your business. You know what? Maybe Disney does. Maybe you're a tool, you're a pawn in this film. You didn't write it. You didn't direct it. You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up and do the job.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
They just got rid of the dwarves, okay?
Okay, but what do they call them?
Why would they get rid of the dwarves, though?
Magical creatures.
But they have one token dwarf amongst these magical creatures. You actually just went backwards. You actually just erased the dwarfism side of it, the disability, like we're a disability group, you just erase that whole image.
They're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of 7 dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
The argument should have been from Peter Dinklage, there's power of being on TV, there's power of television, and to put 7 people with dwarfism on camera in a major Disney movie, there's still power there. If the story is offensive, change the story, don't change the characters.
Inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. And do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Weird.
Oh, man.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less than this nonsense.
Disney just made an announcement that shocked the entire film industry, and not in a good way. After one of its biggest flops in recent memory, a movie so polarizing it sparked months of nonstop controversy, the studio is officially hitting the reset button. That's right, Snow White is being rebooted again. But what's really wild isn't just the reboot, it's why it's happening, and what Disney is quietly doing behind the scenes to fix the mess they made. This story goes deeper than you think, and if you thought the last Snow White was a disaster, you're going to want to hear what they're planning next. When Disney announced a live-action remake of Snow White, fans were curious, skeptical, and cautiously optimistic. But as details started to emerge, excitement quickly turned into outrage. The film starred Rachel Zegler, fresh off her role in West Side Story, and the project was framed as a modern feminist retelling of the 1937 classic. Sounds good on paper, until Zegler started doing interviews. Instead of celebrating the legacy of the original film, she downplayed it entirely. In one now infamous clip, she dismissed the original prince as a guy who literally stalks her, calling the romance weird and irrelevant. Those sound bites exploded online. Fans, critics, even former Disney loyalists turned on the movie instantly.
No longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Zegler's tone came off as arrogant to many, and the sense of respect for Disney's legacy felt non-existent. And it wasn't just the public. Behind closed doors, insiders say Disney was stunned at how quickly the backlash escalated. According to sources close to the production, the panic started long before the film was even released. Early test screenings were described as lukewarm at best, but executives hoped the final cut and a strong PR push would win people over. They were wrong. Once the trailer dropped, the reaction was brutal. YouTube dislikes, Reddit threads, Twitter hashtags, everywhere you looked, fans were dragging the project through the mud. What made things worse? Even trusted Disney-friendly critics couldn't defend it. For a company that built its empire on nostalgia, this remake came off as a total rejection of everything that made the original special. The damage control that followed was intense. Disney's PR team scrambled to spin the narrative, but the backlash just wouldn't go away.
That shilled for the Disney company all the time, even they are beginning to turn their back against them. That's how bad this movie truly is. Even if you look at the IMDb rating score, that's when you really know how terrible this movie is and how it really hit rock bottom.
I mean, they're projected to lose between 200 and 400 million on this.
It's over. It's a wrap. Because her entire career rested on this Snow White movie being a success, and it ain't looking good.
So, It got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2 million.
That's when Disney made a move that stunned everyone. They confirmed they're rebooting Snow White again. The announcement came during a closed-door media event, framed not as a cancellation, but as a course correction. A studio insider reportedly said, "This is about getting back to our roots, telling stories that feel timeless, not reactionary." And just like that, the Rachel Zegler version was effectively erased from the Disney roadmap. The new version, set to begin production in late 2025, is being pitched as a return to classic storytelling. That means the fairy tale setting, the emotional arc, the music, and yes, the romance, are all coming back. So, what exactly is changing this time around? For starters, Disney says it's restoring the heart of the original. That means familiar characters like the dwarfs and the forest animals are back, handled with more care, not replaced or scrubbed from the narrative. Music is also playing a central role, with classic songs like Someday My Prince Will Come and Hi Ho being remastered and paired with new original compositions. The goal, according to producers, is to respect the original without turning it into a museum piece. They're not trying to fix what isn't broken. They're trying to bring it to life with modern elegance. And leading the reboot is a brand new creative team. The screenwriter is known for crafting emotionally rich characters, while the yet-to-be-announced director has a background in both animation and live action, with global appeal. Basically, Disney is assembling a dream team to bring Snow White back from the brink. But what about Rachel Zegler? Since the reboot announcement, she's gone completely silent. No public comments, no interviews, no social media statements. According to multiple insiders, Zegler has been cut from all Disney-related media appearances and is not involved in the new film whatsoever. It's a sharp reversal from just a year ago, when she was positioned as the face of Disney's next generation. But after the fallout, executives decided to quietly move on. One source said, "This time, the story has to be the star, not the controversy." Zegler's departure says a lot about the studio's strategy. They want the focus back on the magic, not the headlines. There's another reason this reboot is happening so quickly: money. The financial fallout from the first Snow White remake was brutal. Merchandise tied to the film underperformed across the board. Retailers slashed prices on dolls, costumes, and themed products just weeks after launch. Disney's consumer products division was left with millions in unsold inventory.
That's going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars, and mainly because of her, and because nobody wanted to support her.
I'm in the thick of rehearsals for Romeo plus Juliet, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye for now. The Writing Story notes how a couple of minutes after posting this, she replied to her own tweet and wrote, "And always remember, free Palestine."
And executives knew they couldn't afford to let one of their oldest IPs sit in that state. Industry analysts called it a brand risk, warning that Snow White could become permanently tarnished if something didn't change fast. So, this reboot isn't just creative, it's financial survival. To avoid repeating the same mistakes, Disney is going back to its roots, literally. They brought in legacy animators and consultants who worked on past princess films during the Renaissance era. These are the people who helped shape the look and feel of classics like Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid. Their job? To ensure emotional consistency, pacing, and storytelling magic. Disney knows that corporate polish can't replace soul. So this time, the creative vision is being filtered through people who understand what made Snow White special in the first place. And perhaps the most promising detail? The studio is reportedly building the world with a mix of practical effects and CGI, a move to avoid the overly sterile look of recent live-action remakes. So where does that leave us? This reboot is more than just another remake. It's a full-scale reputational rescue mission. Disney isn't just trying to remake Snow White. It's trying to prove that it can still tell stories that matter. Stories that move people. Stories that aren't buried under layers of politics, PR disasters, or broken expectations. And make no mistake, the stakes are massive. If this version succeeds, it could restore faith in Disney's fairy tale formula. If it fails again, Snow White may never recover, and neither might the studio's golden reputation. As fans cautiously watch from the sidelines, one sentiment is echoing across forums, comment sections, and Reddit threads: just bring back the magic. Disney is listening. Whether or not they deliver, that's the part of the story we're still waiting to see. What do you think? Is Disney finally on the right track, or is this just another fairy tale that ends in disappointment? Let us know in the comments. And if you're rooting for a comeback, don't forget to hit that like button. We've got more deep dives coming soon.